Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more painting. This is the final Explorer from Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress's Escalation expansion, and it is Daedalosus, Techno-Archaeologist. Golden Skin 09092. So, he's got to be a fairly low-ranking member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. I say that because no mechadendrites. Fair amount of cyber eggs, including an eye and an arm. He heard rumors of Blackstone Fortress and came to study it, and he seems to have some idea of what UR025 really is, because the machine man sets off all of his warning systems. And that is the only skin showing. Switch over to a larger brush. And I'm going to take Fire Red 09004. If there's a lot of background noise, because there's a pretty good thunderstorm coming up. So I just want to get this bit done before I look into closing curtains and the like. Close windows, but then again, I might just stand out on my deck and watch it for a little bit. So we'll do a bright red for Mechanicus. He's got a lot of stuff on him. And in-game, his offense capability is lacking, but he is a dedicated supporter, able to quickly take care of discard discovery markers, and can beef up the combat abilities of others by marking targets. He's got his bionic arm, he's got his pistol, some other miscellaneous tools linked to him, assumably cybernetically. And it's fine if I get a little sloppy right here. This is the first coat. And a little bit of armor on here. I'll have to figure out where the armor ends and the armor begins. And of course, this is kind of a gamble right now because that face is still wet, but the hood here. So this will be a semi-conventional color scheme. I'm still going to play around with it a little. Okay, a little sensor on the side of his head there, and that's a pretty good start. I'm going to let that dry completely, maybe do a little more down here. That's not bad. Let that dry, maybe do another coat, and move on a little bit here. That's a nice solid start. Okay, I did do a little more red. Got a few pockets and did the second coat. So now, leaf green 09011 is going to be my secondary color here. So semi-conventional, but give it my own little twist. And this is just going to go on a sort of mantle here. There is still going to be a ton of bronze and steel and gold, as befits a member of the Mechanicus. And he does have plenty of cables and wires all over him. Of course, another thought I had was to do the remaining cloth in a sort of nursing home hospital style green, but I'm going to try to pull that off. I like the clash between the red and green, though. This will be interesting. I want to do the cord going from his scanner to the backpack in the same color as well. Which brings to mind an old-fashioned telephone cord. You don't see many of those anymore at all. At least not outside an office building where they still have to take incoming phone calls from a desk anyway. Okay. I think that's good for the time being. I'm going to let that dry before I... You know what? I see some pouches on his belt that I missed. I'll get those in the green as well. Plenty of pouches and equipment. He is definitely giving the appearance of being prepared, but can anybody really be prepared for the Blackstone Fortress? Alright. Gonna go back to that redness tool, touch up here where I nicked it with the green, then just get the hip underneath that cable a little bit. I don't think I need to go too thorough there. That's not bad, alright. Okay, let that dry and move on to some metallics. Okay, had to think a bit on how to proceed. So I'm going to go with old bronze. This one on 197. And I'm going to use that as the, oh, this is plugged up. I'm going to use that as the majority color for the bulk of the equipment here. There we go. So I'm going to go ahead and get the scanning device here. Brass and bronze are a commonly referenced material in a lot of Warhammer 40,000 novels, especially for equipment. So I'm just going to go over the bulk of it here in the bronze, and then I'll just pick out things later in other colors. I'm sure that antenna on his backpack is for communication. But it's also fun to think that Daedalosus also moonlights as some kind of radio DJ. That'd be just hilarious to have a morning DJ in the 41st millennium reporting from battlefields and acting just as insane as DJs of the current era seem to. In fact, on listening to the radio at work the other day, I had to question if the morning DJs on the station my coworkers left it on was some kind of escaped mental patient. Other than bronze round, I think it's going to mostly be other colors. He's got a on his belt, a clock for some reason. Looks like a screwdriver. I'm assuming these aren't his keys anyway. And I'll do this bit on the shoulder. Metal as well. And I'll redo this one box here. think I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to leave it like that. Let it dry, pick out some colors in that, pick out some other details of different colors, and I think I'm pretty close to wrapping up on the base coats. It's focusing trouble again. Maybe I need a little more light now. Let's try adding a little more light now. Yeah, that works. Well, I guess I'm just going to have to keep playing around with the levels of light at different times a day. Alright, back in bit. Okay. Tarnished Steel 09206. Bionic eye, that little sensor coming out the side of his head there. And I'm gonna let's do this part of the pistol. And his bionic arm. And what else? I want a lot of the cables to be bright colors, but these connectors I think can be steel. Let's do the end of the tool here, as well as the what I'm assuming is some kind of secondary operating mechanism. And how about the joints? And we'll do the antenna as well. Just looking at them right now. Okay, let's get some Sun Yellow 09008 on here. Get some cables. Let's do that there. One here. And if he looks like hot garbage color-wise, well, he's Adeptus Mechanicus. They don't care about fashion, just function. Although that brings to mind the concept of Adeptus Mechanicus fashion being dictated by a party clown. Now that would be hilarious. Sacred Mars Red. The rest of her attire dictated by one who is colorblind. This looks to be some kind of rebreathing apparatus. Let's see here. What other wires do I see? I got one coming from the arc going somewhere inside the sugar here. And more coming from the chest going around to the back. Yeah, that looks nice and gaudy. Got a little bit more over here. Yep, that looks nice and gaudy. Antique gold 09050. It's gonna pick out a little bit. I got a little bit on the chest to do still. I just missed this bit going from the insignia to the. But now antique gold 09050. I'm just picking out a couple of symbols here. Just doing the skulls front and back. Cold mechanics iconography. Then this iconography here on the clock down there. Okay. I'm satisfied with that. I'm going to call that base coats, and once it's dry, I'm going to move on and start shading. Okay. Time to start shading. Antique, or no, I had it right the first time. Ancient Bronze 09049. One part water, one part paint to thin it into a wash. Just going to go over the insignia on the back and on the chest. And go over the tabard here. Marigold yellow 09007. Get some wires here. And I've already had one thunderstorm day. It sounds like another wants to come in. Alright. That is what it is. So I'm just going to go over the wires with this. A little awkward through there. Yeah, I think I need to stop it here and let that dry before moving on. That's a nice start. Okay. Let's go ahead next and do the steel, Blackened Steel 09205. And Daedalosus is looking a bit goofy, but I like it. That's the key. You're the only one that matters when it comes to your paint jobs, so do what you like. Screw everybody else. In fact, bring it to mind some of the goofier G.I. Joe color schemes from the 80s incarnation of that franchise. And okay. I need to wait a bit before I do the bronze, but this is. Oh, wait. I think I forgot to do the antenna. Let's just make sure I get a little bit on there. Okay. Let that dry completely and then move on. Okay. Aged Pewter 09196. Why he's got a stopwatch, we'll never know. Trying to get the there we go. Had a little excess in that gap between the wires here. I didn't want that. I might have to redo this. I thought this was armor, but it might be pockets. If I have to redo it off camera, I will. Let's go over all the bronze here. Okay, that leaves the green, the flesh tone, the red. I think I can take a chance to do the flesh tone now, so let's try Golden Shadow 09091. Just the tiniest dot will do. Top it on the face and let that all dry up. come back, we'll see what else I can do. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and prep the lighting effects before I move on. So, matte white. And using the normal amount of water, in other words, just enough to thin it. Alright, I'm talking too fast. Using just enough water to thin the paint. Gonna go on sensors, optics. Let's see. That screen here, I think the base of this style. Nice, this section of the screen here. Sensor. And what else? I can leave that like that. Okay, I'll thin the paint out a little more, not quite a 1-to-1 ratio. Get the grooves on the back of the power cell here. Yeah, those are definitely pouches, so I'm going to take that fire red again and just do them over. That's 09004. So they can be part of his shirt sleeve here. So just cover them up and I'll take care of shading them when it dries. Now I want to make sure I've got all the lighting I want to do set before I shade the last, or not the last, but shade the green. And I think I do. So, pine green 09010. That is not mixed early enough. So I'll try that again. Better. All the green here on the mantle, hitting the glove. These pouches on the belt. Pouches on the other side. Cord going to the backpack from the skin. This one's a tricky one. I want to get the trim and the detail in between without getting the gold. So just carefully dabbing that in. The boots. Okay. Let that dry completely. Oh, it's a little better now, it's darker. Let that dry completely and then do the lighting effects and hit the red. So back in a bit. Okay, let's do some lighting effects. I think I'll start with a little pale green, 09012. Now for a lighting effect, you want 2 to 3 parts water to 1 part paint. The overall trick is for some of the white to be showing. Just get that in the gun here. Let's get that in the divots. And I'll put that on one of the sensors here as well. And I'm going to take a little fire orange 09006. It out, and we'll do another sensor. And yeah, let's do that here. Do the screen on the scanner. Why not? It's good with that one, I think. Now Vampire Red. And not only is this going to be the last of the lighting, it's going to be my shade for the coat. You take 2 dots. The tiny one's going to be for the lighting. A slightly larger one will be for the cloak. Super thin on the lighting. Sensor, optic, sensor, and we'll put it on this as well. And then out the other. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. And go over the hood and cloak, and that gives a nice Mars red. Go up to the bionic arm. Get what's left of the sleeve there and the pouches, and make sure I get in between cabling here. Go down and flesh out the rest of the coat. Yep, not all archaeologists have the keen fashion sense of Indiana Jones. The color scheme looks less goofy now that I've shaded it and it's darker, but this was something I was just having fun with. Okay, that's pretty good. So once that completely dries, I can highlight and go from there. Oh, raindrops. Okay. Alright, time to highlight and detail. So first I'm going to take a tiny dot of matte white. Just a tiny dot of it. That's all I need. Just enough water to thin the paint. Dot that into his human eye. Get my brush dried up. And a tiny dot of matte black. I'll need more of this later, but I just need the barest speck of it for now. And this is a bit that takes a huge amount of practice. Just carefully dotting in a pupil. There we go. just barely touch the surface. And just a tiny, tiny dot of paint on there. Now, to actually highlight, golden highlight 09093. No water at all, straight paint only. Using a ragged feathered brush, something along the lines of this. Rub most of it out on the paper towel until it looks like there's nothing left in there. And then does the area to be affected. Going against raised edges, which on the face, there's not a whole lot to work with there, so I'm not going to worry too much about it. Phoenix Red 09005. Refreshing the paint as needed. So this is a little brighter than I expected, but I'm okay with it. So I think one level, for lack of a better word, darker, might have gotten closer to a true Mechanicus red, but this works fine for me. And again, the only one who needs to be satisfied with your painting is you. If I ever do any more Mechanicus, I think I will go a shade darker, but this guy is an explorer out on his own, doing his own thing. Checking out the Blackstone Fortress. Because it is a very important artifact that the Imperium could learn from and exploit. Pale Green 09012. Looks like I'm having a little better luck with the focus in this clip, but I'm still not quite where I want to be on that yet. Oh, I'm dropping frames like crazy. Oh, the joys of technical difficulties. Well, I'm just going to roll with it because I need to get this done. Well, I suppose I don't need to get this done so much as want to get this done. Which one next? How about lemon yellow 09009? Get the rest of the wires next, I suppose. Oh boy. Alright. Does it play nice? Not really. Alright, I'm going to try this again. Okay. Lemon yellow 09009. So my computer decided to have a temper tantrum again. It's got to be some glitch in the programming. Either in the software directly or how it interacts. So I will, well, to be fair, I've been thinking about switching programs for a while, but money is an issue, so it's a substantial investment, and unfortunately, for some reason, the program I use doesn't rank any higher or lower than any others, at least as far as I've been able to find, so go figure. I got a little out of the code, so I'm just going to take all that red and go back into that again. Let's see, I think the next one I need to do, let's do the gold. So that one's going to be new gold 09051. Not a lot of this. This brush is a little loose. And by that I mean the head seems to be coming off the handle. That can happen, so if it does, you can fix it with a little glue. Or if it's beat up enough like this one's kind of getting, it'll just be time to toss it and get a new one. Next, let's do True Silver 09207. Actually, no, not yet. Tarnished Brass 09198. I'll do the bronze first, then do the silver. Make sure my camera's still playing nice with me. Being careful around the screen on this bit here. I'm kind of working on going from the front of the model to the back. And what are all these things he's got on him? Tools of the trade. Which brings to mind, I'm getting tongue-tied. We don't exactly know what all this stuff is. We don't necessarily even need to know, but that's not going to stop us from asking questions. Kind of like an old comic strip from the far side. Cow Tools. Now 09207 True Silver. Which the artist Gary Larson got a lot of questions over because his readers wanted to know what exactly each cow tool did when they were all these amorphous lumps with no discernible function. So we have no idea what this is. This looks like an antenna. We don't really know what this bit is. Sampling, cutting, we have no idea. At least nothing that has been explicitly stated anyway. We can guess, I suppose, but in the end, unless Games Workshop explicitly says this bit does this, we will never really know. Okay. All right. Now, I'll make sure I'm not dropping hundreds of frames a second. It seems like it wants to, but it's not yet. Get all my brushes for dry brushing put away. I'm going to pull out a detail brush and the matte black, which which I'm going to need a fair amount of now. Because I'm going to take the detail brush, use just enough water to thin the paint, keeping the brush moist but not overly wet. I'm just going to pick out the dial here. And here. Now, that's it for the highlighting and detailing, so I'm going to get a flathead brush, which is great for wider areas. I use a round for most of it. And taking that matte black pen, I'm just laying the base. Okay. That just cleans it up. And now I need to let that dry for a bit. When I come back, I can add some talus to it. So back in a little bit, and hopefully my sister's playing nicer with me. Okay, time to base now. Using a mix of coarse and fine talus, rock debris, white glue, and water. So this bottle's a little beat up, and what I tend to do is get just one bottle that I refill from a bulk jug, which is actually cheaper in the long run. So I only replace the bottle as absolutely necessary when it just gets too worn out. And mix it all up, keep the brush nice and wet. You just want to basically sacrifice one for this purpose. Cleaning it out thoroughly keeps it working longer, but there's only so many times you can do it, and its shape will get kind of messed up from doing this. So just bear that in mind. I'm going to paint around the feet. And let's try to get a nice solid coverage here. Give it a dip in the material. Probably going to have to refresh this with some more fine grade soon. There we go, and I'm going to take a spare brush that's dry. It's a little plier and just push this away from areas I don't want it, just kind of lightly dusting and pushing down. He's standing in rubble, which he generally probably would be, given he's an archaeologist. Oh, just a little right there. Alright. Now I need to let that set for 20 to 30 minutes. Then I can seal it. And after sealing it, I can varnish the model. So back in, it's going to be about a second for you. It'll be 20 to 30 minutes for me. So back in a bit. Okay, last step, Scenic Cement. This is a spray or brush on adhesive that Woodland Scenics puts out. Glass eyedropper. This stuff will bond to plastic quickly. And just dripping it onto the basing material. You need to let it set first. Otherwise, this will just make divots in your coverage there. And the last thing to do will be to seal it with a varnish, which I can't do on camera because that involves a spray can. I'll just dab out the bit that got on his coat there. And that is it. Daedalosus, techno-archaeologist from Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress. This is the last of the explorers for this game. But I have a retinue character up next, so until then I am Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.